Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam overview class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuro Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are discussing the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and last time we discussed how all the queens of Krishna, when they met with Draupadi, so Draupadi and all the other Kuru queens, they asked about how all of you got married to Krishna. So in detail, all the queens headed by Rukmini, they described how Krishna, he came and he married all of them, ending with the description of Rukmini. And one common feature in all these queens were everybody was expressing their humility and telling that we just want to be the servant of Krishna, we just want to be a maid servant, be the sweeper. May we get the chance to serve the lotus feet of the Lord life after life. We do not want anything. Navayam sadhvi samrajyam swarajyam bhaujyam apyuta vairajyam parameshthyam cha anantyam vahare padam. We do not want anything. We just want to have the dust of the Supreme Lord's feet on our head. That which is desired by the gopis of Vrindavan, all the residents of Vrindavan. So that is what we discussed. So today we'll be discussing the 84th chapter, the sages' teachings at Kurukshetra. So Sukadeva Goswami continues the description of what is happening at the Kurukshetra during solar eclipse. Although the solar eclipse lasted only for one day, but all the queens and all the Kurus and Yadus and the kings, they were staying for many, many days and months because they were not able to get separated. They were meeting after such a long, long time. So therefore, they were completely overwhelmed and they didn't want to leave. So when all the Kuru ladies, all the other queens of Yadu dynasty, they heard, actually all the Kuru queens, when they heard the glorious position of the queens of Krishna, Pritha, Gandhari, Draupadi, Subhadra, and all the wives of all the other kings, and even gopis, when they heard, they were so very amazed. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a wonderful explanation that Draupadi, she was the chief hearer in that assembly, and all the other names, Pritha, Gandhari, they were not mentioned earlier. So Sridhar Swami, he tells that actually these ladies were not present and they heard the narration second hand only, because they were elderly ladies, Pritha and Gandhari. So Draupadi would not have spoken so freely in their presence. So therefore, they heard only second hand these narrations, and also gopis, because gopis, externally speaking, they were not sympathetic to the queens of Krishna. They were showing external jealousy. Oh, we are not getting the association of Krishna, and the queens of Krishna, they are getting all the association. So it is described that even gopis, they joined in shedding tears, because when they heard of the glorious position of the queens, because more than feeling affection for the queens, they were reminded of the various beautiful pastimes Krishna performed with them. So because they were only conscious of Krishna, so whatever reminded them of Krishna Katha, they became absorbed in that. So the apparent conflict which which is seen in the gopis and the queens, it is not like a mundane envy of today's age, today's world. Jealousy of the gopis is just a show. There is no substance in it. They are just concerned with serving Krishna, And Sridhar Swami says that actually these queens, who are they? They are the expansions of the gopis only. So Jiva Goswami, he tells that Kunti and Gandhari, they were amazed by seeing the dedication of Krishna's queens. Such dedicated they were in serving Krishna. Draupadi was amazed by seeing the bhav of the queens. With such sentiments they were serving Krishna. Subhadra was amazed by seeing their affection for Krishna. And all the wives of the various kings, they were amazed according to their qualification. And the gopis, they were amazed because they saw that these queens, they have a bhav like us only. So everybody was amazed according to their position. So after this beautiful conversation, ended between Draupadi and all the queens, there were so many sages who had come to take darshan of Krishna and Balram. Because they knew that Krishna and Balram is supreme, they are supreme personalities. Who all came? The most powerful sages from all over the universe came. Dvaipayan Vyas was there, Narad Muni, Chavana, Devala, Asita, Vishwamitra, Vashishta, Bhrigu, Pulatsya, everybody was there. Atri Muni was there, Kashyapa, Markandeya, Parshuram, Brihaspati, everybody was there. Even 4 Kumaras were there. Everybody had come to take darshan of Krishna and Balram. So now after, all the queens, they left. So all these sages, they came, and Krishna and Balram, when they saw these sages coming, they immediately stood up and they offered all the worship, all the respect. That supreme personality who is worshipped by all the devatas, he is worshipping the sages. So he worshipped all the sages with proper words and proper reception. He gave nice sitting place, and then he washed their feet, and he gave them nice garland and chandanwood paste, and offered aarti for them. This way, Krishna, whatever he does to establish the right standards. Yad yada acharati sreshta tattad eve taro jana sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. Whatever great people do, common people follow. So therefore, Krishna, whatever he does, we have heard in the pastime of the 4 Kumaras going to Vaikuntha. And there was a conflict, and Kumaras, they cursed Jaya and Vijay. There also, Krishna, Lord Vishnu, he came out, and he is giving such respect and such glorification for the Brahmanas. Because he knows, the 4 Kumaras, they tell later that, oh Lord, we know that, although we don't deserve, we are not anywhere what you are telling about us. But because you are showing respect to Brahmanas, therefore everybody will show respect to the Brahmanas. So therefore, this is the only reason I can see that you are worshipping us, you are giving all the respect to us. So Krishna is giving all the respect to the Brahmanas, all the sages, so that people can do the same. So after worshipping all the sages were seated properly, comfortably, and then Krishna, Supreme Lord, he speaks such powerful verses glorifying the association of devotees, glorifying the sages. अहो वयं जन्म भृतो लब्धं कार्त्स्नेन तत्फलं देवानामपि दुष्प्राप यद योगेश्वर दर्शनम. Such respect he is giving to all the sages. He is telling, Aho vayam janma bhrito. Our lives are indeed successful. What is the use of, why Krishna will say that? He is a Supreme Lord. What is the need for him to say that? Our lives have become successful. Aho vayam janma bhrito labdham kartsnena tatphalam. Because we have attained the ultimate goal of life. What is that? Devanam apidushprapa, that supreme goal which is unattainable even by the devatas. What is that? Yad Yogeshwara Darshanam, we are getting your darshan. You are the master of all the mystics. To all the sages, you are very, very powerful. Even devatas are hankering for your darshan. And we are getting your darshan. Such a great fortune we have. And then out of his humility, he's telling, oh, how is it that people like us who are not austere, they are getting darshan of the great sages. In fact, people, those who are not austere, they see God only in the deity form. Very, very profound knowledge Krishna is giving. Is telling that those who are neophyte devotees, not very advanced, they see God only in the deity form. And we are so very, we are not so much advanced, but still we are getting a chance to see you, O sages, because the advanced devotees of the Lord, their darshan is much more rarer than the darshan of the Supreme Lord. Men of little intelligence, they see only deity, Lord in the deity form and not in the saintly persons. Only by the mercy of the saintly persons, an ordinary, less intelligent man can see and understand their glories. Otherwise, Kanishta Adhikari, he is only interested in deity worship. Archayam eva hariye pujam ya shraddhaye hate nacha bhaktirshu channeshu sa bhakta prakrita smritaha. A neophyte devotee, he is just concerned with worshipping the Supreme Lord in the deity form and he is not concerned with devotees. So Jiva Goswami tells there that devatas, they have done such great personalities. Krishna is telling, all the great powerful devatas, they have performed such great personalities, but still they are not able to have your darshan. Your darshan is very, very rare. Men who have performed little austerity, they can just see the deity form of the Lord. And how is it possible that we are so very insignificant people and we are getting a chance to have your darshan? Only by your mercy it is possible. Nahi ammayani tirthani na deva mrichila maya te punantirukalena darshana deva sadhavaha. So very beautiful words Krishna is speaking. Nahi ammayani tirthani. Mere bodies of water do not constitute the holy places. Na deva mritshila maya. Just the images of earth and stone, they are not true worshipable deities. Because if somebody takes bath in the holy rivers and worships the devatas, they will get purified after a long, long time. But darshana eva sadhavaha. Great saintly people like you, they purify just by their darshan. Darshane pavitra karo ei tomar gun. The same exact, similar verse comes in the 12th canto, where Lord Shiva is glorifying Markandeya Muni. Nahyam mayani tirthani na deva chetanojita te punantyuru kalena yuyam darshanamatrataha. Very similar verse. The same meaning is there. So therefore, the worship of the devotees of the Lord, darshan of the devotees of the Lord, it is the rarest of the rare opportunity. Service of the chance to serve the devotees, it is rarest of the rare opportunity. Durapahi alpatapasa seva vaikuntamartmasu yatropagiyate nityam deva devo janardana. Those who have not performed sufficient austerities, they cannot get a chance to serve the devotees of the Lord. So therefore, the devotees of the Lord, they purify the places of pilgrimage. As Yudhishthira Maharaj is telling to Vidurji in the first canto, Bhavad Vida Bhagavata Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swa Antasthena Gadabhrita. The great devotees like you, because you have Krishna in your heart, you purify even the places of pilgrimage. Nagnirna Suryo Nacha Chandra Taraka Na Bhujalam Tham Swashanotavan Manaha Upasita Bhed Krito Harantyagam Vipaschito Gnanti Muhurta Sevaya. Another very beautiful verse glorifying the association of devotees. Na Agni, na Suryo, na cha Chandra Taraka. Neither the controlling demigods of the sun, moon, fire, and stars, na Bhu, Jala, nor the in charges of the earth, water, and ether, air, speech, mind, all these controllers, they remove the sins of their worshippers only after long time. Vipaschito gnanti muhurta sevaya. But the devotees of the Lord, they have the power to purify just by the moment's association. Sadhu sanga sarva shastra koye lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoye. So therefore, a person who has understood the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, he may not be completely purified of the contaminations and sinful reactions, but because he is practicing devotional life, he is much more worthy of respect than those people who are worshipping all the other devatas. So therefore, it is very important. The best remedy to get purified is to serve the Vaishnavas. When we go to a holy place, what we have to do? Krishna is telling again, very famous verse. Prabhupada has quoted this verse n number of times. And Krishna himself is speaking the glories of the devotees of the Lord. Yasya atma buddhi kunape tridhatuke swadhi kalatradi shubhoma ichyati yattirtha buddhi salilena karhichit janeshvabhigyeshu saeva gokharaha. Yasya atma buddhi kunape. One who identifies himself with his body, the body which is made up of kapha, vata, pitta, bile, mucus, swadhi kalatra adishu bhauma ijyati. And swadhi kalatra, he considers that his wife or husband or children, they are his property. Permanently they'll be my only. Swadhi kalatra adishu bhaum ijyati. And he thinks the place of birth as the worshipable, and he thinks that the deity made up of the earth, it is worshipable. So it is, Chakravarti Thakur clarifies, it is the deity of the devatas, not the deity of the Supreme Lord. Yattirtha buddhi salilena karhichit. If somebody goes to a pilgrimage place and he is just interested in taking bath in the holy river there, and not interested in taking association of the devotees, not hear from the devotees. Janeshu abhigyeshu saeva gokharaha. He is like a cow or a ass. So it is very, very important. Vidyanand Maharaj writes, he quotes from the Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. Chakravarti Thakur writes that men, if they are not aware of the devotional principles, and even if they are expert in all the rituals, all the yajna, tantra, mantra, puja, if somebody is expert in that, but he has no devotion for the Supreme Lord, that personality is like a cow and an ass. Go kharaha. Because they're just carrying the burden of all the Vedic rituals, not understanding the essence of the rituals. Vedesha sarvairahameva vidyo. The purpose of all the scriptures, all the Vedas is to know Krishna. Aradhito yadi hari tapasa tatah kim, naradhito yadi hari tapasa tatah kim. Antar bahir yadi hari tapasa tatah kim, na antar bahir yadi hari tapasa tatah kim. Prabhupada would tell this many times. If you are worshipping Krishna, then what is the use of all the other rituals? And if you are not worshipping Krishna, then what is the use of all the rituals? So therefore, anything, if it is not connected to Krishna, it is just a waste of time and endeavor. Shrama eva hi kevalam. So after Supreme Lord, he glorified the sages with such choicest words. So all the sages, they came ahead, and when they heard such wonderful glorification from the Supreme Lord, they started wondering, wow, how great and humble the Lord is. They concluded that, oh, Lord is speaking all that just to instruct people in general. Personally, he does not have to do any of this. So therefore they smiled, and the sages, they said, Yanmaya tattva viduttamatvayam vimohita vishwasrijam adhishwarah yad ishitavyati gudha ihaya aho vichitram bhagavad vicheshtitam. So the sages, they are telling that Yanmaya tattva vid uttama vayam vimohita. O Supreme Lord, your Maya, your illusory potency has totally bewildered us. They are telling that we are the most exalted knowers of truth. We are the leaders of all the universal creators. But still, your Maya, your words have bewildered our intelligence. Yad ishitavyayati gudha ihaya. You cover yourself by your yoga Maya potency. And therefore, you pretend that you are under the control of your subjects. Although you are the supreme controller, aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate, who can be under the control of Krishna. But you are behaving like this. Oh, aho vichitram bhagavad vicheshtitam. Just see how amazing is the behavior of the Supreme Lord. So whenever Lord acts, he acts in such a way to attract the hearts of all the living entities. That's the purpose why Lord appears in this world. With his words, with his actions, with his behavior, he's attracting everybody. So Lord, when he hears this, he may ask, oh, how can I create, maintain and destroy if I am Vasudev's son? So they say, oh my Lord, your pastimes, they are simply a pretense. You are behaving like the son of Vasudev. Just, it is a show. Because you are the original source of creation, maintenance and annihilation. No, you are not any of the persons of this world. You are not the son of Vasudeva. It is just your pastime. अथापि काले स्वजनाभिगुप्तये बिभर्षि सत्वं खलनिग्रहाय च स्वलीलया वेद पथं सनातनं वर्णाश्रमात्मा पुरुष परो भवान. They are telling, Athapi Kale, O my Lord, you are the source of creation, maintenance, and destruction, and in due course of time you appear. Why? Swajana Bhiguptaye, to protect your devotees and to destroy the miscreants. Khala Nigrahaya. Vibharshi Sattvam Khala Nigrahaya cha. You appear to protect the pious and to destroy all the miscreants. Swalilaya Ved Patham Sanatanam. You maintain the path of the Vedas by your pastimes. You appear in this world, perform so many pastimes so that you can maintain the Vedic injunctions. All the Varnashram, it is meant just to worship you, O my Lord. Varnashram Atma. You are the soul of Varnashram. Very, very powerful verse. Varnashram Atma. What is the Atma of Varnashram? What is the soul of Varnashram? You are the soul, O my Lord. If somebody is practicing Varnashram system, Varnashram duty, and he is not worshipping Krishna, he is wasting his time. Varnashrama charvata purushena parapuman Vishnu aradhyate pantha na anyat tattosha karanam. The purpose of all the Varnashram system is to please the Lord, worship the Lord. Otherwise, it is Shrama eva hi kevalam. Atha pumbir dvijasreshta varnashram vibhagasha swanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhir hari toshanam. All the varna and ashram duties, they are meant for pleasing the Supreme Lord. So the sages, they continue, O my Lord, the Vedas, they are your spotless heart. And one can perceive you by means of austerity, study, and self-control. And therefore, you, O my Lord, you are actually transcendental to both the manifested and unmanifested material existence. Only way to attain you and perceive you is to serve, is to do devotional service, to practice austerity, to study the Vedas, and to control the senses. Yagyadana tapah karma natyajyam karyam evatat yagyo danam tapashaiva pavanani manishina. Therefore, Krishna says one should never give up this yagya, dana, tapa, because they are purifying. So Krishna may ask, if I am that personality, then why I am worshipping sages? So the sages, they are telling, O my Lord, you are honoring all the Brahmanas because Brahmanas are the perfect agents who can understand the Vedas, and they can tell all this Vedic knowledge to people in general. So therefore, you are protecting this Vedic culture by protecting Brahmanas. So therefore, O my Lord, you are the same Supreme Personality who appears in this world to protect the Brahmanas. You honor the Brahmanas to teach the world. So they began with the same statement and they are ending with the same statement. The sages, they began with the same thing, that you are performing all these pastimes, you are giving us such respect to show example, set an example. And they end with the same prayer. Then they say, today our birth, our education, our austerity, our vision have all attained perfection. Adya no janma safalyam vidyaya tapasodrisha tvaya sangamya sadgatya yad anta shreyasam paraha. Adya, today Our janma has become safal. Our birth has become successful. Our knowledge, our austerity, our vision has become successful. Why? Because we have got a chance to associate with you. That is the success of our life. Because you are the Supreme Personality. And therefore, out of devotion, they are offering their beautiful prayers. Namastasmai Bhagavate Krishnaya Kunthamedase Swayogamaya Yachanna Mahimne Paramatmane. Namah Tasmai Bhagavate. We offer our obeisances to that Supreme Personality who is Krishnaya Akunthamedase, that Supreme Personality Krishna, whose intelligence never gets defeated, who has infinite intelligence. Swa Yogamaya Yachanna. And he covers himself by his own mystic potency. By his own Yogamaya potency, he is covering himself. So if you observe, the sages, they are telling, let's offer our obeisances to that Supreme Personality. Krishna is standing right there in front of them, but still they are telling that Supreme Personality. Why? So Chakravarti Thakur writes that because they are experiencing such great devotion to that Supreme Lord, and that Supreme Lord is beyond everyone's understanding. Therefore, they are telling him Tasmai. Because they are thinking, although you are standing in front of us, we cannot understand you, O my Lord. You are, nobody can perceive your knowledge, your power, your supremacy. So therefore, they are telling Tasmai. So Krishna, if he may say, okay, if I have unlimited intelligence, then why you are not situating yourself in that knowledge about my supremacy? The sages say, no, my Lord, you are covering our intelligence by your mystic potency. Yoga Maya Yachanna. So Krishna may say, okay, if that is the case, how did you get the knowledge now? Because sages say, because today you have shown your mercy. Only by the mercy of the Lord one can know the Lord. Athapi te deva padambujadvaya prasadaleshanugrihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno na chanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. Anybody who has received the mercy of the Lord, he can understand the Lord. Otherwise, to understand the Lord is impossible. And how one can understand the Lord? By serving the devotees of the Lord. So it all boils down to service of Vaishnavas. So the sages, they tell, oh my Lord, all these sages, none of them can understand your supreme position. Even Vrishnis, who are getting such intimate association of you, they know you as the soul of universe. But many times their knowledge also gets covered. Neither of the kings, they know you. Neither of the Vrishnis, they know you in full. The same thing, same, verse was spoken by Uddhavaji to Vidura in the 3rd canto. So Uddhava is telling, when Krishna departed from this world and Vidurji is asking. So Uddhava, out of his separation, is telling, Durbhago batalokoyam yadavo nitaramapi esam vasantu apividur harim meena ivodupam. So Uddhavji is telling that Durbhago batalokoyam, this entire world is unfortunate because although Krishna came in this world, performed so many pastimes, but none of them could understand who is Krishna. And these Vrishnis, Yadavo Nitaramapi, these Yadavas are also unfortunate. because they were staying with Krishna, they were dining with Krishna, sitting with Krishna, they were spending so much time with Krishna, but still they could not understand who is Krishna. Their position was like the fishes. When the moon was underwater, the fishes were thinking, oh, this is like another fish. So therefore the sages, they are telling none of the kings, none of the Vrishnis, they know you as a supreme controller. So therefore Vrishnis, they are too familiar to realize Krishna as a supreme Lord. And those who are non-devotee kings, they cannot understand Krishna as a time factor, which will come and devour them. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that both devotees of the Lord and non-devotees, they are covered by the curtain of illusion. Devotees are covered by Yogamaya potency and non-devotees are covered by Mahamaya potency. Therefore, both of them cannot understand except Krishna as a supreme. Chakravarti Thakur gives another meaning. He tells that actually these Vrishnis who have gathered here, they are such superior personalities because they do not see the Lord as a supreme personality of Brahman. They are seeing him as Bhagavan. They are not seeing him as Paramatma. They are not seeing him as Brahman. They are seeing him as Bhagavan. They are such supreme personality. They are very, very fortunate personalities. And Chakravarti Thakur gives the example of all the cowherd boys. Although they were playing with Krishna like ordinary children, they were not ordinary. They attained this position after many, many lifetimes of pious activities. Of course, those pious activities were bhakti unmukhi. And Shukdev Goswami says, Krita punya punjaha. They have amassed many, many lives of pious activities, pious credits. And that's why the Pandavas also were getting such intimate association of Krishna. Rajan patir gururalam bhavatam yadunam daiva priya kulpati kvachaking karova astveva manga bhagavan bhajatam mukundo muktim dadati karhichit svana bhakti yogam. Narad Muni is telling to Yudhishthir Maharaj, O king, that supreme personality, he is behaving as your messenger, he is your worshipable deity, he is your servant also, he is doing everything for you because you have such great devotion for him. So therefore the sages, they continue that, people, they cannot understand your personality because they are covered by illusory energy. Just like in the dream, if somebody sees himself in some other form, he forgets who is he in reality. Similarly, people, because they are covered by the Mahamaya potency, they are forgetful of you. As Shukdev Goswami tells in the second chapter, this world is like a daydream. There is a night dream and there is a daydream. Swapna drashtur iva anjasa. But therefore they tell, today we have seen your lotus feet directly. Those lotus feet, they are so very powerful, they can destroy the sins of millions of lifetimes. The yogis, they can just meditate on those lotus feet, but by pure devotional service, we can actually get the darshan and we can attain you, O my Lord. So therefore, they are telling actually, we are, sages who are meditating on you, but by practice of Gyan or Ashtanga, one cannot attain you, O my Lord. Only by pure devotional service, you can be obtained. So after this, Shukdev Goswami tells that after offering all the beautiful prayers, the sages, They took permission from the Lord and they were about to depart. But as the sages, they were departing, Vasudev, father of Krishna, he approached all the sages, bowed down to them, and he humbly started inquiring. Because he's thinking that actually these sages, they are so very rare to be seen. Even if we invite them, it is not possible to bring all these powerful sages at one place. So therefore, he was thinking that I have so many doubts in my mind. So better clarify these doubts. Just like it happens when some great personality comes. So we want to clarify all our doubts. So therefore, Vasudev, he is asking, he starts offering prayers to all those sages. He's telling, "O great sages, you are the residents of all the demigods. Please hear my one request. Please tell me how one can be free of the reactions of one's work by performing a certain type of activity." So basically, he's telling that, "Oh great sages, I am not qualified for jnana. I am not qualified for bhakti also. I can just perform karma yoga. So therefore, please tell me how I can be free from the bondage of karmic reaction by performing a karma." So Narad Muni, when he hears such humble submission of Vasudev, he first of all clarifies, because he sees that so many of the sages are there, and when they see Vasudev, who is the father of Krishna, and he is speaking in such a way, because Vasudev is thinking, "Oh, Krishna is my son. So, and I am a lowly personality engrossed in the material entanglement. So I have to come out of this material entanglement." So that is the humility of a natural humility of Vasudev. The same humility we heard in the 11th canto also. When Narad Muni came, Vasudev again approached Narad Muni there. Again he asked the same questions. So that is the natural humility of a devotee. So Narad Muni, he wants to clarify, because Vasudev is in the mood of Vatsalya Bhav towards Krishna. And all the great sages, they are in mood of Aishwarya Bhav. They are worshipping Krishna as a supreme Lord. And Vasudev is taking care of Krishna as his son. So this is not a very very nice combination. So these two moods, they are not gelling with each other. So therefore Narad Muni clarifies the situation of Vasudev to all the sages. Nati chitram idam vipra vasudeva buputsaya krishnam matvarbhakam yanna prichati shreya atmanah. Oh great sages, Narad Muni is telling to all the sages, it is not so amazing that Vasudev, out of his eagerness to know, he has asked us about his ultimate benefit, and he is considering Krishna to be his son. It is not so astonishing, because he is such a great devotee of the Lord. So therefore, to avoid the embarrassment of all the sages, Narad Muni is clarifying this to all the sages. And then he tells that actually in this world, familiarity breeds contempt. Sannikarshotra martyanam anadara karanam gangam hitva yathayambas tatrayato yati shuddhaye. So Narad Muni is saying, it is not so astonishing, because in this world familiarity breeds contempt. A person who is staying on the bank of Ganga, he goes to another river to take bath, to purify himself. So, Narad knew that the cause of Vasudev's, not seeing Krishna as God was his intense love. So therefore he is explaining things to all the other sages that actually Vasudeva is not an ordinary personality, because he has such Vatsalya Bhav. He is thinking Krishna to be his son. So, Vasudeva, he may tell all these sages that actually, so actually Narad Muni, he continues before that. He tells that actually, not only Vasudeva is thinking Krishna to be ordinary child, actually, most of the people of the world, they do not know who is Krishna. But there is a difference between Vasudeva's ignorance and the material person's ignorance. Vasudeva is ignorant of Krishna out of his intense love for Krishna. And all the materialistic people, they are ignorant of Krishna because they are covered by the illusory energy. So Narad Muni is saying that Supreme Lord, even if somebody is considering Supreme Lord to be his child, Supreme Lord's position is not disturbed any time. He is not like ordinary personality who undergoes the 6 changes, takes birth, grows, stays for some time, then produces byproducts, dwindles and dies. So Krishna is not like that. Ordinary people, they perceive Krishna to be an ordinary person of this world because they are covered by the modes. So after Narad Muni clarified the situation, all the sages, they again started speaking to Vasudeva. So Vasudeva had asked a question, how I can counteract the results of my actions by performing an activity? So the sages, they are answering. Karmana karma nirhara esha sadhu nirupitaha yashraddhaya yajir vishnum sarva yagyeshwaram makhaihi. So they are telling, oh Vasudeva, it is concluded by the great sages that work can be counteracted by another work only if you perform a work to please the Supreme Lord. Yashraddhaya yajed Vishnu. If the Supreme Lord Vishnu is worshipped by your work, then you will not get the reaction to the work. Yagyarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhane tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara, as Krishna is telling to Arjuna. If you are performing an activity as sacrifice to please the Supreme, then you will not be bound by the reactions of the karma. Same principle. Now all the sages, they are telling again. Yashraddhaya yajed Vishnu. If you worship Vishnu by your sacrifice, then you will not be bound by the reactions. Chittasyopashamo yam vai kavibhisha srachakshusha darshita shugamo yogo dharmaschatma mud avaha. All the great learned scholars who can see through the eyes of scripture, Shastra Chakshu, you know what they are telling? They are telling that the easiest method to control the mind, Chitta Asya Upashama, the easiest method to control the mind and to attain liberation is Dharmaschat Mudavaha, to perform the service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which brings the greatest joy. If you perform devotional service, then you can be free from all the bondage, you can get liberated and your mind will be controlled. Otherwise, there is no auspiciousness in this world. There is only one auspicious path in this entire creation. Ayam swasthena pantha dvijate grihamedina yashraddhayapta vittena shuklene jetish purusha. Asti ayam swasti ayana pantha. This is the only auspicious path for all the householders. For a religious householder, The only way to get auspiciousness is to serve the Supreme Lord, worship the Supreme Lord. So that is the ultimate perfection for all the householders. And then they tell that actually an intelligent person, he should learn to renounce the desire for wealth by giving charity. A person should learn to renounce the attachment to the family by entering family life and enjoying sense gratification in a controlled way. Slowly he should learn to give up that. And one should learn to renounce the desire to get promoted to the higher planetary systems by studying the effects of time. In due course of time, even if somebody is a devata having such a long life, shine punya marti lokam vishanti, of course he'll fall down. So that is how an intelligent person should work in this world. A person who is a dvija, who takes birth and he gets second initiation, he has debt. He is indebted to the devatas, he is indebted to the sages, he is indebted to the forefathers. One should try to repay the debt to the devatas by performing sacrifice, to the sages uh, by reading the scriptures, and you should repay the debt to the forefathers by begetting nice Krishna conscious children. O great Vasudev, you have already repaid two of your debts. You have repaid the debts to the sages, and you have repaid the debts to the forefathers by begetting children and by studying the Vedas. Now, only one of your debt is remaining, debt to the devatas. For that, you please perform sacrifices. And therefore, the sages, they said that you have asked a question. Actually, you are posing yourself like an ordinary person. And you have asked a question as if you are a attached householder. And therefore, we gave you standard answers. But you are not an ordinary personality. You are the father of the Supreme Lord. So naturally, you are a Nitya Siddha devotee. You do not have anything, any law of this world is not applicable for you. Because you asked a question, behaving yourself, posing as a common man. So we also spoke like a common man, answering to a common man. But you are not a common person. So they are clarifying. They are telling that, oh Vasudev, for sure you must have worshipped the Supreme Lord in the past. That's why the Supreme Lord has appeared as your son. So after this, all the sages, so Vasudev, he requested all the sages to perform sacrifices because they told, Aapka ek rin bacha hai, you have your debt to the devatas. So they request them that you please, become my priest and you help me perform this sacrifice. So the sages, they were very grateful honored because Vasudeva was not an ordinary personality. So they arranged a huge sacrificial arena and performed the sacrifice with following all the regulative principles and all the rituals. Excellent arrangement was done. And after the sacrifice was done, Vasudev, he took bath, he dressed himself very nicely with all the silken robes and the ornaments and the jewelry, and all the other kings, they also dressed themselves. And on this occasion, it was a festival. So many musical instruments were being played, mridanga, bheri, anaka, dundubis, and the male and female dancers, they were dancing. The Gandharvas, they were singing. The professional reciters, they were glorifying the sage, glorifying Vasudev. Everybody was happy. Then the priests, they initiated Vasudev and the wives. And Vasudev, he had 28 wives. and Devaki was the foremost. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that out of 28, 18 wives took part in the sacrifice, because 28 would be too many. So therefore 18 were participating in that sacrifice. So all of them were initiated in the sacrificial vows, and Vasudeva and all the wives, they performed the sacrificial ceremony. And Vasudeva was looking very, very brilliant, like moon surrounded by stars. He was looking like Indra surrounded by the Devatas. And in this way, Vasudeva, he worshipped the Lord. And then after the sacrifice was over, he honored all of them with nice gifts. And he gave the gifts of ornaments, cow, land to all the Brahmanas. He fed everybody, including the dogs. Everybody was fed. And in this way, the sacrifice was conducted very nicely. Then all the assembled kings, they started departing. And Vasudeva and all the wives, they gave so many gifts to all the kings. And as the kings were departing, they were glorifying the sacrifice of Vasudeva. And then all the Yadus, they also were departing. And all the Yadus headed by Vasudeva, they bade farewell to the Kurus, headed by Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and the Kunti, and the 5 sons of Kunti. Vidura was there, Bhishma, Drona, everybody was there. They were so very overwhelmed because they were getting separated from their beloved relatives. And slowly only they could depart, because they were having such feelings of separation. Then Vasudeva, he met with Nanda Maharaj. And Nanda Maharaj, he showed such affection to Vasudeva and all the Yadus. He stayed there for a long time with all the Yadus. Nanda Maharaj could not return, because he was intensely attached to Krishna and Balram and all the other Yadus. So when all the others departed, Vasudeva, he stayed, and Nanda Maharaj also stayed for 3 months. 3 more months was Nanda Maharaj, he stayed even after everybody departed. So Krishna, Balram were there, Vasudeva was there, and Nanda Maharaj, every day he would tell that, okay, today I am going. Okay, tomorrow I'll go. And in this way he stayed for 3 months. So Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj, they had such loving talks. They shared their hearts. Vasudeva was telling, oh, you are so magnanimous. We never reciprocated with your love. We were so very ungrateful, but still you kept showering your love. Although we were attached to our families, we forgot you. Earlier, because of the Kamsa, we could not take care of you. And now, because we have got such wealth, we are blinded by the intoxication of wealth. Of course, he is speaking out of his humility. In this way, Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj and Krishna Balram, they stayed for some time. And then after 3 months, Nanda Maharaj, although he didn't want to go away from Krishna, but with great sorrow, with a heart full of separation, Nanda Maharaj, he departed. And because the rainy season was approaching, so they could not wait any longer. They could not stay any longer. So Vrishnis, they went back to Dwarka, and all the Brajvasis, they went back to Vrindavan. And all the Vrishnis, when they reached Dwarka, they told everything to the residents of Dwarka. So that is how this chapter ends. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So there is a question that, in that verse, Swadhi kalatradishu bhauma ijyati yatirtha buddhi salilena karishchat janeshu abhiggeshu saeva gokharaha. So why people who go to the pilgrimage place and just take bath, and not take advantage of association of devotees. Why they are compared to cows? Because cow is a very, very pious animal. Of course, cow is a pious animal, very dear to Krishna, but the point is animals are in the mode of ignorance. So in animals also, there are some animals in the mode of goodness, some in the passion, some in the ignorance. Cows are in the mode of passion. Cows are in the mode of goodness. Lions are in the mode of passion. Monkeys are in the mode of ignorance. But overall, they are in the ignorance only. So, therefore, the principle of ignorance is there in the animals. So, therefore, those people who do not understand the importance of the association of Krishna sages, they are compared to the cows. If Devaki was foremost, then when did he got married? Because he was there in jail. Yeah, so even after Devaki was married, and then Kamsa, he heard that, so he didn't arrest Vasudev immediately. And in between, Devaki and Vasudeva were staying in the palace, and during that time also, Vasudev married many other queens, many other princesses. That's how he had 28 wives. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai.